I'm Pete Daniel, and I live in the Tamar Valley on the border of Devon and Cornwall. Join me on my adventures in the Tamar Valley as I try and show you some of the wildlife I love to see and film. As well as other projects me and my family undertake on our daily routines. I'm off down to the valley today to go back to the wood to see how those woodpeckers are getting on and to see if there's anything of those chicks appearing yet. Right, okay, well I'm back at the woodpecker's nest, and as you can probably hear, the chick's up there cheeping away, and that'll do that now right up until the point that the chick fledges the nest. I've set the camera up, and what I want to try and do today is try and get some shots of the parent birds coming back to the nesto and feeding the chick, and hopefully the chick will poke his head outside the nesto, and that'd be really, really good. So just got to sit and wait now and hopefully get that shot. Right, first bird's back. It's the female. She's feeding the chick. She's off. Oh, look, quick look at the chick. Well, there's the chick. Look, male's back. Look at the red disc on the back of his head. Look. Oh, he's having a little dance. Oh, that's wonderful. And off he goes. Mother's back. And gone again. Look at that lovely chick, look. Beautiful. Oh, mum's back again. And gone. Look at that chick, look. Out the hole, look. Oh, dad's back again, look. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, do you know, I think that's absolutely brilliant. I think it's fantastic to be able to come down here and sit and watch the woodpeckers coming back and feeding their chick at the nest. And I even got both the parent birds coming back, and I got the shot of the chick coming outside the hole with the parent birds there. And that's absolutely brilliant. Well, that was brilliant to see that. To watch the woodpeckers working so hard to feed their chicks is fantastic. And just in time as well, as the weather has started to change for the worst again. Hey, you never expected me to come out there like that, did you, eh? It's like gorillas in the mist. I tell you what, this rain's absolutely fantastic. It's going to do the garden a world of good. It's been so dry for so long, everything's been falling back behind. But this rain will hopefully pick up the crops. My artichokes is about 6 foot high, and they come out in a couple of weeks' time hopefully, and they'll be flowering just like sunflowers, and they look absolutely beautiful. You can see the potato plants, they've started flowering, so hopefully underneath these plants we're going to have some spuds, and that'll be really, really good to harvest in a couple of 3 weeks' time. The peas and the broad beans and everything, they're lagging behind. The broad beans is only about 1 foot high. Okay, normally they're about 2, 3 foot high, and we get a good harvest of them. They've already started to produce the beans, but like I say, they're dwindling behind. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this rain's going to do some good. It's also filling my pond back up with fresh rainwater, which is absolutely fantastic for all the wildlife in the pond. And not only that, it's filling up my water butts, which is my drinking water for our chickens. Right, I'm going to get out of this rain because I'm soaked wet through. Well, all I can do now is sit and wait for the rain to pass through the valley before I can go back to the garden and show you something at the pond. Right, okay, we've got 2 minutes break in the weather, And after this morning, I didn't think the rain was going to stop, but I've come back at the garden because I wanted to show you something at our pond. Now, let me tell you a little story first before I go on to that. About 2 nights ago, I come home from work and I went into the shed to check on the chicks, like I do every night, make sure they got food and water. As I opened the shed door, of course, pond tank's on the left-hand side, and there was water all over the worktop where the pond tank was. There was only about 3-4 inches of water left in the tank. Of course, I could see that the seal down the side of the tank was leaking. So I made the decision to bring the tadpoles up from pond tank and put them into the pond. So they've been in there for a couple of days now. Now they just started to get their back legs. Now I've looked into the pond now and I can see there's a tadpole here, look. His back legs, look, there you are, you can see it, look. Just on top of the weed there, and that's fantastic. But one thing I did notice when I let the tadpoles go the other night, which is absolutely brilliant, is this. Now, there's a tadpole down here, look. And look at that, look. He's right next to an adult newt. And that's absolutely brilliant, look. You can see the tadpole there, he's got his back legs. He's alongside the newt on the rock there. But you have a look at this over here, look. Look, there you are. There's another tadpole, look. And then there's a baby newt. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. So, the pond hasn't even been here 12 months, look. And not only will I put my tadpoles in here, where they should do really, really well, we've actually got newts that come to the pond, they've laid eggs, and we've got baby newts in the pond. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. I mean, you look at it, some people call it a puddle, not a pond, but I tell you what, we got boatmen, we got snails, we got the baby newts now, and the adult newts, and of course, we've got my tadpoles in there. So hopefully in a week or so's time, we'll see some baby frogs coming out, and that'll be absolutely brilliant. Well, this is something else I want to show you before I disappear, before the rain comes back. And this is the area that we planted out with wildflowers. Of course, earlier in the year, the girls planted some seeds out with the wildflowers. Here, look, and that's all that's left of the flowers on them, look. Because they've gone over, and hopefully all the seeds from the pods are dispersed into this area and they'll spread around. Same as the foxgloves, look. They've gone over, look. You see the seed pods is all dried out. Yep, they're empty. So hopefully, again, they've dispersed into this area. And we're going to have more foxgloves and wildflowers growing here. We've got lavender in here we put out for the bees, so hopefully that's all going to bunch up. Of course, I've got a few marigolds and some of my favourites. I love fuchsias, so we bought a load of fuchsias and put in there, and hopefully they'll spread and we can maintain them, and they'll all be brilliant for the wildlife. And hopefully we'll start to see a few more bees coming back around the area, and that'd be absolutely brilliant. Well, that's brilliant news at the pond. I am so pleased with that. I'm pleased as punch. And I tell you what, the wildflowers are starting to take shape as well. It's all fantastic. But now I'm heading back down to the valley again because I want to go back and see how my peregrine chicks is getting on. We are back at the nest, look, and you can see now that the chicks is feathering up. Look, they've laid down, they look fairly camouflaged, look. Hard to spot. That's brilliant. Well, they are, look. Hey, they sat up, look. Oh, that's a good shot. That's fantastic. Well, yeah, look, they're starting to move around a bit, look. Look at that, look. That's wonderful, look. What a beautiful little birdie. We're setting them back down again now, look. That's fantastic, eh? Oh, look at that for a shot. Oh, and both up, look. Look at that, look. Wonderful. And there's one in behind, look. All three of them's there. They're all feathered up. Oh, he's on the move, look. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, diggy, diggy, look, have a little scratchy. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Oh, the tree's in the way again. Right, okay. Well, I apologise if you can hear a lot of clicking on the film. but I'm just trying to get some photographs of these beautiful birds before it's too late. They've just about completely feathered up, and I don't think it's going to be long before they start to look to fledge the nest. They've just moved around the nest out of sight from me, gone behind the sycamore bush that's on the cliffside where the nest is. I think they've gone round to where the sunlight is. But I can tell you it's just out of shot, but I can tell you that those birds are exercising their wings. And every now and then, when I'm doing it, I can see all the loose feathers from the carcasses from the pigeons and whatnot on the nest floor coming up in the air. So those birds is getting ready to fly. I don't think it's going to be very long at all. It's just a shame I can't show you that. But I tell you what, it's one thing to see it on the telly, but to actually be here and see it is fantastic. I can't tell you how I feel inside. It's absolutely brilliant. Well, do you know, that was absolutely brilliant. That was something really, really special. Not everybody gets to see that every day, I'll tell you, and that was absolutely fantastic. And I'm just glad I could share it with you. But I'm going to disappear now and leave those birdies alone because the parent birds will be coming back soon and I don't want to disturb anything. And hopefully I'll come back in a few days' time and try and get some more shots. It was absolutely brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. It's only going to be a short time now before those chicks are off from the nest. So I need to get back again soon. But for now, I'm off to the river because I want to try something out a little bit different. Right, okay, well I've come down to the valley today, and the reason I've done that is because I'm making my way down to the river. And I want to go down to the river because there's something I want to try and show you. Something I want to try out today, something I've not done before. Now, I come down the weekend, me, Tash and the girls, we came down to the river for a paddle. Of course, we started building a dam to try and get the water level up so the girls could have a swim. And as we was down to the river, I seen something in there I've never seen before. And I'm hoping today I can come down and I can try out my new underwater camera. I've got another one. I wasn't happy with the first one I got. Of course, there's only a cheap one off the internet anyway, but I've gone and bought a half decent one. So hopefully, when I put it under the water, I get some good results of what I want to try and show you. But let's get down to the river and then I'll tell you a bit more. Well, there you are, I'm down by the river, and that's the dam that me, Tash and the girls built the weekend to try and get the water level up so the girls could swim. And I think we've done a good job because round the corner it even comes up past my way, so even I can have a swim in there. It's really, really good. But whilst we was building the dam and messing around in the river the weekend, I seen something I've not seen before, and I spoke to Dad and he's not seen them in the river before as well. And that's a certain type of fish, and that's the minnows, which is really, really good news because I've looked up on it and apparently you get minnows in really, really pure, clean water. So that's only good news for the river. That's brilliant stuff to hear. But I want to try my new camera, so what I'm going to do is get my swimming trunks on, get in the river and hopefully cool off in this hot sun and get some shots of the minnows on my new camera as well, and that'll be really, really good. Right, okay, well I'm in position, and what I'm going to do now is just turn the camera on and put it down on the riverbed because already there's minnows all the way around me. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get some shots on my camera. Didn't take very long for them to come at all. This is fantastic. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I got some good shots. Well, okay, well I'm happy with that. Hopefully I got some decent shots on that camera and that'll be really, really good. Right, there's time to go and cool off. Well, with the good weather continuing, it's coming up to a busy time of year for the farmers. And now they're all getting ready to make silage and hay. So I need to get back down to the valley to go to the silage fields to try and show you something that uses the long grass for cover to stay safe. Right, okay. Well, we're coming up middle end of May and I've come down to the valley today because there's a certain little animal I want to try and find and show you. And that's a baby roe deer, or a roe deer fawn as we call them. Now, the roe deer I seen about 2 or 3 weeks ago, the other side of the valley, was very heavily pregnant. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to find something. But I've come down today and I'm looking through this long grass in this silage field here. Now, the deer have their babies in the long grass so they can hide them away from predators. But as you can imagine, for people like me, to try and find a roe deer fawn is like looking for a needle in a haystack. So wish me luck. Right, okay, as I'm walking through the long grass of the silage field to try and find the baby deer, I've just gone and seen a roebuck, or the male roe deer. He's over the other side of the field in the long grass. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my camera off the tripod, I'll leave a tripod here, and I'll see if I can get a little bit closer and try and show you some shots of the roebuck. He's absolute beauty. Right, he's seen me, he's barking. Because he's warning the rest of the deer in the valley that I'm here. That's their call sign. Danger. Oh, there he is, he's off. He's had enough. He's going back to the wood. Right, well that was absolutely brilliant to see that roebuck, but it's the baby deer that I'm after. So I'm going to continue to look through the long grass and see if I can see any signs of him being here. I'm going to make my way down to the back of the wood and see what's happening down there as well. Right, okay, as I'm looking for the roe deer fawn, I've just found a roe deer bed down here. Look, absolutely brilliant. Look. And you can see there that the grass is all flattened off, and that is where a deer has been lying. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll find something down this end of the field. That'd be really, really good. Well, do you know, I spent a long time in that long grass looking for a baby deer. And just when I was ready to give up, something caught my eye, and it was absolutely brilliant. Well, do you know, that was something really, really special to see. I walked around the whole of this silage field now for 2 or 3 hours in this long grass, and I'm absolutely knackered. But it was worth it just to show you that baby roe deer at the bottom of the field. Absolutely fantastic. If you're ever lucky enough to see that, please, whatever you do not touch the baby deer. If you do, you'll leave your scent on it. And when the mother comes back 2 or 3 times a day to let that deer suckle, if your scent's on that baby deer, then she'll reject it. Okay, so whatever you do, if you find it, don't hang around too long, stay back, have a look, enjoy the beauty of it all, and then leave it go and walk on. And that's what it's all about. Absolutely brilliant. Well, do you know, I spent a long time in that long grass looking for a baby deer. I'd be blowed if I didn't find another one on the way back to the van. It was absolutely fantastic.